now next on stage is Santosh Kulkarni, Country Manager, Business Development, Smart Solutions, 𝗘𝗱𝗴𝗂 𝗔𝗂𝗋. Let's welcome him with your thunderous applause. He is currently Country Manager, DataCenter Business for Vertiv in India. He has been a part of Vertiv, formerly Emerson Network Power, for the past 20 years. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Hi, good morning, everyone. And I think I am the privileged person that I get such a terrific energy laser already, and like that is my privilege. So we'll start with a presentation with a small video about Vertiv, and then I will connect with the previous speakers. And I think thanks to both of them, they gave a lot of points that we are going to talk about. And when it comes from the industry, the users and the thought leaders in that, it really makes us very proud that we are going to talk something which is relevant. There are certain points about staying nimble, and then there are points about DCIM, how it is going to help industry do a green revolution inside the data centers, how you reduce your carbon footprint, and how you save on OPEX, CAPEX plus OPEX model. All those points were raised by the industry speakers, and they're very relevant for us. Thanks to both of them. Really, you made my pitch much easier. Thanks a lot. Video.
It's amazing what humans have accomplished. Cars that think, machines that learn, healthcare that predicts. The progress of tomorrow has yet to be imagined, but it will rely on data. It will rely on Vertiv. Vertiv ensures data gets where it needs to be uninterrupted. Critical power is always running. Servers perform at optimal temperatures. Infrastructures grow safely and responsibly. Applications run without glitches, and life leaps forward again. Getting there takes vision and agility. Our leading experts think beyond infrastructure, connecting the dots to create integrated, intelligent ecosystems, to create a future that takes innovation to the next level. And when business needs shift, we work closely with our customers every step of the way. Together, we ensure they are ready before they ever need to be. Vertiv provides continuity in our digital world, so we remain unbound, liberated, free to create the next big thing. Vertiv, architects of continuity.
So we start with a small quiz. You see a big number there. 175 followed by a lot of zeros. 21 to be precise. Can anyone guess what is this number? 175 into 10 to the power 21. Can anyone guess it? Yeah? 𝗘𝗱𝗏. Great. I think let's have a big round of applause. Great answer. So again, one more example is relevant. So it is actually, we are talking about what data we are generating. So you look at the data here, in 2010, we were talking about less than 2 gigabytes. And now in 2025, it is going to be 175 gigabytes. So that is how it is growing, 100x in 15 to 16 years. And that is where this data is not just a dump of data, it is going to drive the businesses. The AI, machine learning, and a lot of other things that we are going to talk about during the day, this data is going to actually drive business. No longer IT is a support structure, IT is driving businesses. Many businesses have come up in recent times, many startups have come up, which are actually IT as a main driver. And this is where this whole thing is going to go, and it is growing exponentially. If this curve is not flattening, it is going to keep growing forward. So what we are talking about is edge tsunami is coming in. Michael Dell mentioned about in the next 5 to 10 years, he sees there is going to be a lot of end applications, edge applications are that going to drive businesses. People are going to collect a lot of data from the end users that is going to be driver for the business strategies, and they are real-time data. Gone are the days when you can collect data, process it 3 months, 4 months, and then devise a strategy which you launch it next year. Now is the time when data is real time getting processed and it is really becoming a growth driver for many of the businesses. So it is basically E is equal to MC square. This is a well-known Einstein formula. Our Asia-Pacific President, Mr. Anand Sanghi, slightly modified it to meet this edge application. So what he talks about, edge is a multiplier of an exponential of a cloud. What in a simple term it means that every megawatt that is getting added in a cloud, colo or a hyperscale data center, there is many more megawatts that are getting added at the edge. For a bank, it can be a core data center of 1000 racks at the main data center and maybe a DR of equivalent size. But every branch, maybe in thousands of those branches, that is going to be an edge. Wherever there is a transaction that is happening, that is going to be edge. For a logistic company, there is warehouses used to be edge some time back, but with the GPS coming in, even every vehicle has become an edge. And whatever data, real time, those vehicle movements and all those things are actually coming in, giving the better customer experience to entire business. And this is where entire stage is going to go. And you can look at, for every megawatt that is getting added here, there is going to be multiple megawatts that are going to get added. From an IT fraternity, what it means is slightly a challenging scenario. Let me tell you, if you have a big data center at one place and you have 100 racks or you have 200 racks and you have some skilled people handling it, it is easier. I will not say it is very easy, but it is easier as compared to having 200 data centers spread across multiple locations. And that is where we are going to talk about a multi-locational data center is going to be the reality tomorrow. You are trying to reach closer to your end customers, collecting data, and you are going to have that kind of a scenario coming in. And that is where Vertiv is with the end-to-end solutions. We are trying to help you with some kind of a contribution on a passive infrastructure side as well as the IT management side of it. I keep giving example of Vertiv. Internally we keep talking. So Vertiv is like iceberg. Many people only see Vertiv as a UPS and a precision air conditioner company. But there is much more to do with Vertiv, where we have a lot of integrated solutions. We have the hyper-converged solution from the perspective of IT management. We have the IP KVM switches. We have the ADX ecosystem, which can help manage thousands of IT devices from a centralized location. So we will try and make you aware of those. We are available during the day at our stall for you to interact and know more about our products. So when you are giving a transformational customer experience to your customers who are driving revenue to you, these are the 4 layers what we look at. Most of the time customers experience the overall service through some kind of a app, or you can say some kind of a graphical interface, user interface, which you are going to see it here. Now, all this you are going to see it here. That is supported by the application platform. That is supported with the IoT platforms. It is going to talk about big data analytics, and all those things are happening in the background. And those things that are happening are supported by the IT hardware. This is servers, storage, networking devices, hyper-converged infrastructures. Now, all that IT hardware, Vertiv has a role to play at the bottom of the pyramid, where we supply the very, very reliable solutions of UPS systems, precision air conditioners. We go and talk about DCM softwares. We have integrated solutions on smart data centers, which can also, we have now launched recently the complete containerized data centers. So a lot of things that are happening, and this is the bottom of the pyramid. You know that all these 4 things are important to derive the customer experience. And at the end of the day, as we all know, the weakest link in the chain decides the strength of the link. And if any of these things are weak, finally overall experience that customer is going to get may not be the optimal one that you want customers to experience. So many a times what we observe is people are focusing in these 3 areas, IT managers especially. So we request you to now, you can also take a step forward and look at having a very, very robust, nimble and very, very efficient infrastructure spread across the geographies close to your customers, and Vertiv will be happy to be partnered with you all. Now, there is a IT infrastructure, there is always a debate which we call whether you have a centralized infrastructure where you have 200, 300 racks, or you have something which we call it as a distributed architecture. So, there is always a debate where this is going to be this or this. But let me tell you, over the last 4 to 5 years, while colos and hyperscale and cloud infrastructures have grown magnificently, there is a need that people are realizing that you need to have a distributed architecture available. So how the world is evolving is actually the hybrid. So you are going to have every digital business will have a hybrid IT infra. You will have something very strong centralized data center. At the same time, you will have many more small data centers. You may have some locations of yours where you have just 2-3 switches, one router, some of the ISP devices, and some kind of a firewall there. Maybe 7-8 U of IT space, and you still need to manage it, monitor it remotely, and that can be in thousands of the numbers. So one of the private bank we have associated with, they have more than 2,000 of such branches connected to our monitoring devices, monitored by centralized location. So these kind of things are going to be there. This may be different, the numbers will differ. Manufacturing plant may have only manufacturing plant or warehouses as their edge locations. In bank, it can be slightly more numbers. Education now is growing. There is a lot of digitization happening across. So this is going to be the thing. Hybrid is going to be the IT infrastructure that we all going to observe. So just to give you a brief about Vertiv, how it suits, basically how Vertiv gels within this is, it's a 5.6 billion conglomerate. We are US based MNC, but you can see 32% of our business comes from Asia Pacific, and India has a big role to play in that. If you see the right side pie and the bottom right side pie, you will find that 70% of our business comes from data center space. We have really a depth and breadth of the products. We have a 15U rack mountable closet available for a switch and a server, and we have a 75 to 100 kilowatt per rack kind of a solution that we have deployed, where liquid immersion cooling kind of solutions that we have deployed. We have products which you can remotely monitor or manage the IT devices, your switches, and all that. So we are really in that space. So almost 70% of our business coming from that range. And now this slide you will find, this is where I spoke about the iceberg theory. There are a lot of people, I have not specifically put the higher kVA UPS system, or you can say the precision air conditioner products that most of the Vertiv people go and talk about. Today I am going to talk about which many of you may not know, but that product is available, and that product can actually give you a lot of, it can solve a lot of pain points for you. Is basically you look at from here, from the modular and integrated options. So these are the product lines. The top one are where the physical infrastructure, you have a rack, you have a AC within the rack, UPS systems, monitoring, you have the electrical pod, everything coming in one single box. And as the number of racks grow, you can have from one rack, as you grow, it can be more than 50 racks. So here we have even the containerized data center solutions also available. Now when you have such a beautiful infrastructure spread across locations, but you are physically sitting at a head office kind of a location, and then you have to monitor or manage those many sites, it can be a nightmare. And that is where Vertiv has a very, very big component here on IT management and facility monitoring, which many of us may not be using to the fullest. So you can look at here, there are products which we can talk about is on the distributed edge side, where we have devices, AVM switches, the advanced control ACS kind of things, where you can actually take a control of your network devices from the central location, and you can manage them. Even if there is a network connectivity issue, you can take some of our out-of-band devices and reach out to that network device. We have IPDUs which are, we can switch off particular socket remotely, and that is where you can actually do a forced shutdown. Sometimes if the device is not responding, the only option you have is to do a forced switching off of that device and restarting. Now you do not have to send a person there, you can do it from your desktop. Those kind of things are available, and these entire range of products are not a futuristic product. They are getting implemented already. We are going to cover it in few of the quick case studies. We will share it for your knowledge. they are not something that is going to happen in near future. They are already happening. Some of you already used it. And thanks to many of you who have kept faith in these kind of futuristic products, so that we have the case studies to showcase for you today. So this is the edge data center in a box. You can look at a single rack which has glass door and it is a contained box. There's a cooling within the rack. What we are going to talk about is, we are not differentiating your core data center racks and your edge data center rack. I have almost 20 years of experience in immersion. I have not met a single customer who has differentiated importance or criticality of a rack based on number of racks. When I sell to a one rack customer, they still say that their business is dependent on that rack's functionality. And we respect that. And that is where what we have done is all the features of an enterprise class data center are available inside a single rack. You have a UPS redundancy, you have cooling, you have monitoring, you have entire electrical distribution, everything is coming. You can just go on deploying. You have certain surge in business in certain areas, you can just keep on deploying these racks and they are ready for your futuristic requirements when the kilowatt per rack is growing. Similarly, if you have hyperconverged solutions or you have the high performance computing that is getting deployed, there is a lot of machine learning, artificial intelligence related data crunching that is happening, you can go for slightly bigger kind of solutions where we have Ingro solutions. We have again a containment within the box. Whole idea of these solutions is about saving on operational cost. It's also about reducing the carbon footprint. So as a decision makers, we all have a responsibility for our future generations. And we can all contribute by reducing carbon footprint by doing something. So these solutions are 30% better on operational savings actually as compared to the conventional data centers. And we have data to back it. 30% is amazing. And I think by that way we can contribute to the green revolution, make the earth slightly more greener. We also have a lot of customers keep talking about that they want to have entire 42U space, and we launched this product which is a 0U. So you can see the cooling unit is at the vertical cooling unit, there is no space. So entire 42U space is available for deployment of IT. So this was something which was coming up and we have accommodated that. Apart from that, there are a lot of high-rise buildings where you typically find those glass around the entire walls and there is no space for the outdoor units to be kept, and they have the ability to have the chilled water available. So we are the only OEM to have chilled water rack cooling unit available with us. If you have a 24/7 chilled water available, you can go and deploy this in your hub rooms. This is one of the fantastic products and it reduces all that copper piping between the indoor and outdoor. So it's fantastic product from that perspective. Easy to manage and all that. It is again not something that we are talking about future. It is already deployed at multiple locations at one of the leading MNC ITSI, Indian MNC. So when we talk about the entire ITMS portfolio, someone spoke about monitoring and managing devices. So we have fantastic product offering from the core side, we have edge side, and we have control rooms. Some of the large plants where we see control rooms coming up, and we have entire stack. So from the rack, EDU, access control, and we also have the asset tracking devices. We also have the DC rack PDUs. Now there is a lot of customers are going in for DC racks, and we have PDUs which are DC PDUs as well. So we are ahead of the curve on many of our product lines, which can be of lot of use to all of you. I think speaker before me spoke about some data centers getting deployed in South America. These are containerized data centers. Vertiv has launched these in India. We have few initial orders flowing in for this business. And as you can see, it is available in multiple things. It can be a ISO 8 feet by 20 feet kind of container, or it can be customized as well. This is one of the things that is going to come up for the expansion of the infrastructure, where you want to suddenly respond to a hike in requirements, and we can have that speedy deployment done for you. So we'll have some of the use cases, because what happens is many times people always wonder, okay, there are a lot of solutions, where exactly they're getting deployed. So we thought of having this done here. So we have a manufacturing company with 11 plants pan India, and they have a data center in Mumbai where their centralized ERP is deployed. where we have given this kind of a 4-rack large data center, which is around 35 kilowatt of cooling within 4 racks. And then they have deployed this kind of racks in each of the plant, 2 racks in each of their plants. So this is getting monitored centrally from their Andheri office, and this is something which is helping their IT team to have a lot, because on the plant side it is very difficult to get. Plants are many times interior areas, and getting a skilled manpower, IT manpower there used to be a nightmare. And this is, we have solved that kind of a problem for them. And today what is happening is point of sale is plant. If there is something down there, the vehicles keep waiting outside the plant because billings are not happening, and that is being taken care with this solution. There is a colo player. Now this is something interesting that is happening. There are few colo players, they are giving a combo offer that the customers are going on colo, occupying some 25 or 50, 100 racks depending on their requirement. But at the same time, they require something on their offices. And many times that used to be a gap, that you have a very good colo site there, but if your infrastructure which is connecting you with that colo site is not strong enough, again that strength of a chain depends on the weakest link, then this IT room in your premise used to be a weakest link in this, and that is where people used to suffer. And that is where we did this, and already we have started seeing traction. There are issues related to latency. People want, if there is a ultra low latency requirements are there, people want these racks to be as close to the user side, and also the end mile connectivity. And apart from that, we obviously go and provide the compliances and security solutions. So these are the things getting deployed. We already deployed, as you can see it here, 2 locations where we have given smart home and 12 locations. And you can see it here. This is deployed in Agartala. It is pre-configured solution. It just went and did it. We did not have to have our room preparations and all that. Customers were really happy about it, that we could just do it in a flash of a time. This is something which we are going and talking about. This is large data centers. People were thinking that are smart rows capable to deliver. So you can see this is a phenomenal site that has come up in city of Ahmedabad, and we have deployed 62 racks at one single location. 62 racks. That was phenomenal. We ourselves, 4 or 5 years back, we always thought that smart solutions, smart rows and all are typically for customers below 10 or max 15 kind of racks. But this customer proved us wrong on a right way. Is they actually deployed, they trusted us, and we deployed 62 racks at a single location. So this is going to be a trend. You will be surprised to know typical 62 rack data centers will take 5 to 6 months for deployment. This order we received on 5th of November, we deployed this rack on around 25th of February, and over was complete. And that is kind of deliverable this has. I thought of sharing it across with you, because you are all continuously under pressure on delivering large infrastructures at a shorter lead times, and we can partner with you on that front. So this is something large private banks they have done, and thanks to them, few of them are present here, and our thanks to them for helping us on this. A single IT rack we have converted into a smart IT rack. What is there in this rack? Rather, what is not there in this rack is what we have to see. The 42U rack, which is steel commodity, is being moved into IT rack by giving a centralized monitoring software, asset tracking, RFID based asset tracking. So you actually know where is your physical location of the device is, and then you have the multiple sensors, temperature, humidity, all those important parameters that you want to know are already there. Intelligent RPDU, IT management gears, and the need cable management. Everything is being provided. And you look at the number of racks here, 1000 racks, 2000 RPDUs, and 6000 sensors. And all are monitored on a centralized stuff. So this is kind of a solution which we deployed. Then there is one thing which is a leader in mobile handset business. What we are giving them, this is a retail outlet that is coming. Every rack is equipped with one rack mount UPS, one PDU which is having switched capability. That means you can switch on or off particular socket, and you also have this advanced console server. Through this, they are deploying this rack so fast, and they are monitoring everything from a centralized location. This is getting deployed. This is getting deployed in Mumbai. Very recently it got deployed. So you get all the hits on the customer. So last slide, what I have is about what you are actually looking at as IT fraternity. We seek your help, guidance always, because we slightly come from a background of passive infrastructure. but we are doing that. We are taking those strides forward. We are actually doing a lot of efforts to come closer. So what we are looking at is that you typically, when you go for multi-locational data centers, when you have a hybrid infrastructure of centralized data center and many edge sites, you actually need a centralized management and monitoring. You also need standard design, converged solutions, so you actually get it everything together. So you can tie up with some of your IT suppliers. We give them a rack, they give you IT stack, complete IT stack, and it gets deployed seamlessly. And we have number of partners, almost 150 IT partners we have tied up with who can give it as a combined solution. We also have a secure and compliant. When you have multi-locational stuff and you have IT audits and you have to give the compliances, this is very useful because you are monitoring it continuously. All the audit trails are available. And the last point which I highlighted once is about the ROI. This is a complete ROI story. Thanks to the speaker before me, I think from Infosys, he spoke about, Mr. Narendra spoke about, we need to move to our CapEx plus OpEx as a model rather than only focusing on CapEx. And that is something which we go and talk about. We talk about faster ROIs. We may be slightly costlier initially, but over the period of time, maybe 1 year, 2 years, you get back your money, and over the life of these IT assets, you are actually saving every rupee. Rather, you are actually making them earn money for you. That is how we look at it. Apart from this is the money part of it, of the business, which is important, but we are saving carbon footprint. I would like to leave you with that thought, and then I just put it across for you. So this is a virtual reality app which is available on Play Store as well as for the iOS users. This is available. You can download it. It is available on our stall as well, and then you can look at. This is the device which is available. You can get a 3D view of this device. Our stall is next the display gallery there, and you can come and you can see 3D view of this device what is available. And I request all of you to visit our stall. And once more, thanks a lot for your patient hearing, and thanks a lot for your business, which is helping us grow in this market and remain ahead of the curve. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Santosh, for this interactive session.